Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be tackling the question whether rapport and small talk mean the same thing. For those of you who listened to the previous episode, yeah, sure, no problem, you understand. So let's keep moving. But for those of you who are just discovering this podcast for the first time, there is sort of like a part one and maybe a part two ish to this episode. So after you're done listening to this, skip back, listen to the prior one and then the one before, and you get caught up to speed. You'll understand the whole context. You'll understand what rapport means, and you'll understand why we are disturbing ourselves about this topic, rapport. Why should Nigerian business people, why should Nigerian entrepreneurs bother themselves about rapport? Not to now talk of small talk, which is what we're going to tackle today. Now, of course, the reason why we're tackling this is because, there have been people asking questions on LinkedIn about this sort of thing. It's good that in 2026, more people are aware of the fact that your business is not going to grow unless you learn how to sell. And so, because of that, people are becoming interested in lots of topics around what is sales, what is selling, how do you sell, how do you convince people, can you even convince people? So I'm glad that I've started seeing discussions on social media about these sorts of things. So anyway, so that's the reason why we're looking at this question today, whether rapport means the same thing as small talk. Now, to understand, or rather to answer this question, there are a couple of things that we need to understand. So first off, we need to understand, what is rapport? For those of you who listened to the last episode, you already know. Then we also need to understand, what is small talk? Then we also have to ask ourselves, what does small talk do? So for those of you who are listening for the first time, don't worry, we're going to get to the definitions. But before we do that, for the benefit of those who are discovering the podcast for the first time, because there is always someone who just happens to be discovering the podcast for the first time. Even though I've been here for over 6 years, and even though I've been here for over 1,300 episodes. So, my name is Tavershima Ayede. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant, and the whole point of this podcast is to solve business problems, especially problems that can be solved by talking to customers one-on-one, typing to customers one-on-one, calling customers one-on-one, Skyping customers or Zoom calling customers or Google meeting customers one-on-one. Problems that we can solve when you are face-to-face with your potential customer. So those are the kinds of problems that we solve over here. And the way I like to put it, on this podcast, I bring you guys some business goodness. So if you're discovering the show for the first time, subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Apple iTunes, any player of your choice. And if you'd love to connect with me, you can call, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. In this season of my life, or in this season of the podcast, I would love to hear particularly from those of you who are trying to start businesses and you have 3, 4, 5, 6 ideas and you can't figure out which one in particular you should build a business around. I'd love to hear from you guys. Reach out, because I can help you to select the best idea. Reach out, because after we select that idea, we can validate the idea together. We can figure out if there's any demand. We can figure out if people are willing to pay for this thing. We can figure out if people are willing to pay enough for this thing so we can build a business around it. And reach out so that we can figure out how to create a selling system. Because the whole goal, or the whole point rather, is not just to get someone to buy something from you once, but you want repeat purchases. You want the person to come back again and again. And also, you want the person to also make introductions. You want people to refer you to other people so that their friends, their family members come and buy, and also, could become customers of yours as well. So if you are in that phase of your business growth, business journey, you're thinking, I'm good at this, I would like to do this, but mom say and pop say I should do this, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. So now back to the topic of the day. Does rapport mean the same thing as small talk? Now, what is rapport? Like I said, this episode is kind of like a part 2 or maybe a part 3. So when you're done listening, listen to the last episode and the one that came before. But summary, rapport just means You're having a conversation with someone, whether in the personal context or in a business. Okay, you know what? Let's just keep it business. Let's keep it proper. Let me stop talking relationships. So, in a business context now, you're there with an investor, or you're there with a stakeholder, or you're there with your business partner, or you're there with a potential customer, a potential client, or you're just shy, like, open networking, that kind of thing. So, like for those of us who have kids, like today was my children's inter-house sports day, and we were at Agui Ironsi cantonment in Abuja, and it was fun. Very hot day, very hot day. It was fun, and some people who are social butterflies, they come into their element. Like, oh, there'll be other parents there, so some people show up, all fly, deck to the nines, and they're ready, you know, networking. Because people, their eye they shine, like they're thinking business, money, 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 money. Speaking of money, everybody that was sitting around me had this phone, this mad phone, the one that opens up Samsung V Fold, and I just kept thinking. Every time somebody would bring the phone and then open it and begin the, record video, like when your child is performing and all that, start recording video. I was saying, now wow, is this 3.5 million I'm looking at like that? Then while I'm marveling, another person now bring out their own and say, now wow, see 3.5 million. So that's how I was just saying 3.5 million, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Then I heard that what's this one called? The iPhone something something Pro Max. I heard that one is like 5M. Then that's how I'll say another person, see 5 million, 5 million, 5 million. I say, now wow, that people are paid up, really paid up. How did I enter this level now? Rapport. So I was saying that, when you're in that kind of session now, like your children are doing the house sports, you're coming there because you want to network. You want to see if you can make one or two business connects, and then you happen to be talking to somebody, and then as you and that person are talking, there's a level of comfort. You guys are just cool. There's some ease. There's some relatability. That is rapport. If your auntie says, "Oh, Kunle, you're doing fashion design," I be say, "Yes, auntie." Well, go and call Mama Adekumbi. I've told her that you're coming. She wants to design something for 60 years wedding anniversary, something, 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 blah blah blah. And then you go over and you're in front of Mama Adenike, and as you all are talking between you and Mama, there's a certain level of comfort, there's a certain level of ease, certain level of relatability. Conversation just they flow, everything smooth, everything soft, everything gentle. That is rapport. You sell insurance, you walk into the DG's office, DG says sit down. After 2 minutes, you and DG are talking as if, you have known yourself for a very long time. And it looks as if, oh, I might be able to sell a policy to DG. Apart from that, I might even get permission from DG. DG is Director General. Yeah, Director General, the head of a parastatal. I might even get DG to even, allow me to make presentation to the, to the other departments. Maybe I can close some deals as well. So when you are sitting down with DG, and then there's level of comfort, there's level of ease, there's relatability, conversation smooth, that is what we call rapport. So, especially in a business or a sales context, it also applies in the personal context as well. But I'll leave that for later, since this is not a relationship show. But basically, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, skip back. After listening to this thing, listen to the last episode. You're going to get caught up to speed. Then, another thing that you're going to be able to learn about if you listen to the older episode, the one before this, is what rapport does. Now, rapport makes it easy to talk to someone. Like I said, whether in front of DG or Mama Adenike or whoever it is that could be a potential customer, or maybe you're looking to someone to invest in your business, you're talking to a potential business person. If you are able to achieve a certain level of rapport, it makes it easy to talk to that person. They will trust you, they will relax, and then you'll now be able to figure out if this is a good person that you should be talking to anyway, because not everybody you should be doing business with. There are some people that once you feel them, like once you get their character, You just know that, Kai, this person will give me problem, and then you just run. And I told you all about this, my client, the one who is into audio production services, creating audiobooks for Nigerian authors. There's one particular author that he spoke with, well accomplished and everything. But the way that first conversation, they were just grating on each other, you know, it's like um, it's like when you take sandpaper, take two sandpaper and start rubbing it, that kind of thing. So he had to weave the situation because he knew that this mommy, even if this mommy pays me my fee in dollars, there'll be serious quarrel. So it's not everybody you should be doing business with. So yeah, once you achieve a certain level of rapport, you're going to be able to figure out, is this person a good person for me to continue this business, this conversation with? Then, do they even have a need for my product or service? And then, what's the best way that I can solve this problem for them? Or what's the best proposal that I can come up with so that I'll collect good money and also give them good results? So these are the reasons why we try and build rapport when we're having a business in a business context. So, like I said, see the last episode for more details. After you're done listening to this, skip back, listen to the other one. So, for those of you who are discovering this podcast for the first time, can you see why this is the best podcast in Nigeria? The absolute best. No other one. None other. Because no other podcast is going to give you this level of detail that I'm talking about here. They'll inspire you, they'll motivate you. They'll bring somebody who has built, 50 million, whatever business, and you learn how to acquire, to perspire, to refire and desire and attain what you desire and aim higher and, all that motivational crap. But at the end of the day, you wake up tomorrow motivated, you will know the next step to take. This is the only podcast where you wake up tomorrow morning and you know, okay, this is exactly what I need to do tomorrow. So, how do you achieve rapport? Again, listen to the last episode. You do that by active listening, and you do that by building commonality. So listen to the last episode, and you're going to know what's up. Then, small talk, because now remember, people are asking questions on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the only social media I have. That's why I hang out. And some people are asking, this thing that people are saying, rapport and small talk, are they the same thing? You know what? Let me be frank with you. You could say they're the same. You could also say they're not the same. And at some points, you see that we can use the terms interchangeably. But I'm still going to tackle this question just to tease out something really, really important that you guys are missing. Whether you are trying to build rapport or whether you are engaging in small talk, a lot of times you will are fumbling because you're missing one key thing. All right? One key thing. But let's continue. So, small talk now. Small talk just means pointless conversation. That's all. If you're in the UK, it means pointless conversations about the weather. And there was one thing I couldn't understand when I was schooling in the UK. I was like, today is raining. Oh, tomorrow sunshine. Oh, this cloud. Oh, snow. I'm like, what is your fascination with the weather? Is that all you people talk about? You jam somebody and then the only thing they can talk about is weather. So anyway, if you're in the UK, small talk means pointless conversations about the weather. Now, for those of us who I'm a township boy, I'm a city boy. Let me not lie. I'm a Nigerian, but I'm not really hardcore Nigerian, if you catch my drift, because I'm a township boy. I was born in Makudi. From Makudi, we moved to Suleja. Suleja is also a town. From Suleja, we moved to Abuja. From Abuja, we moved to Lagos. Then from Lagos, I spent a lot of time in Ife because I went to the greatest university in the world, Obafemi Awolowo University. Then after that, I moved to Kano. And then from Kano, I moved to Aberdeen, Scotland. And from Scotland, I came back, Lagos, Abuja. So you can see that I'm a township boy. I'm Nigerian, but I've been on, my levels, my movement has always been township, 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 township. My parents, on the other hand, are a different kind of Nigerians, a different class of Nigerians, an older school. My parents are not Razo at all. Okay, well, my father is late, but my mom, if you talk to mom, you see that she's well put together. You'll be impressed. But the thing is, Momsy and Popsy were born in the village. Popsy was born at home, Momsy, in fact, not just Momsy was born at home, all her siblings, all of them. How many are they self? Like, I be there like nine. Abi, the boys, that's like four. The girls, that's like five. Yeah, nine. Nine. All of them, they were born in the house. Not in the hospital, born in the house, in the village. So, Momsy is from that generation where people grew up in township. They grew up in village. Sorry, not township, they grew up in village. Popsy is also from that generation where people grew up in villa. So, when I say I'm Nigerian, but I'm, not really Nigerian. That's what I mean. I'm not one of those people who grew up in the village. Some of you are saying, what does this have to do with small talk? Relax. I'm getting there. Just be patient. I know that's one problem with my own podcast. I talk too much, but just calm down. I'm going somewhere. So, where was I now? So, in the UK now, small talk is pointless conversation about the weather. Anybody you jam in the UK will be telling you, oh, winter has been cold this year. Winter was not cold this year. The rain is too much. The rain is not raining. The rain did not rain at all. The sun is sunning or the sun did not sun. It's just weather, weather, weather. That's their own. Small talk, pointless conversations about the weather. In Nigeria now, small talk is all those pointless conversations about family and the economy. Now, this is the reason why I'm saying the difference between me and like my parents' generation. Because for the generation I belong to, uh, those of us who are township children, you know, there's a way of seeing the world that we don't understand. Or those of us who grew up on frozen chicken, Greek chicken. So like for my own parents, if they were going to eat chicken, you go, you grab the chicken, you slaughter the chicken, and then you cook it and eat it. Local chicken. Then there was us who grew up on imported chicken, Greek chicken, chicken that you pump up with fertilizer. Different generation. In fact, like I think it was like 5 years ago, like 5, 6 years ago, my former landlord was during Christmas time, and the guy was a very nice man. God rest his soul. He's late now. Uh, Barrister. And then let me not say his full name, out of respect for his family. So Barrister was like, "Hey, happy Christmas, oh. Now I will send something to you later on." That's how. Excuse me. Barrister sent live chicken, two live chicken. So I did tell Barrister, thank you very much, oh, but I don't know how to slaughter chicken. I should have seen the way Barrister looked at me. His eyes were open. He could not believe that there's a Nigerian who doesn't know how to slaughter chicken. Yes, that's what I mean. I'm from that generation. I don't know how to slaughter chicken. I've never slaughtered chicken in my life. I mean, I've butchered meat, but that is after they have killed it and then you give me, then I'll cut it. Uh-huh. But unlike my parents' generation and Barrister's generation, where if they want to cook chicken, they will tell you, as the man in the house, go and kill the chicken, or go and kill the goat, or go and kill the cow. You're the one that will slaughter it, and then every. So, how did I get here? Now, for those people who grew up in the village, there's some kind of conversations that they have that young blood Nigerians like us, it just confuses us. So, like for my parents' generation, you jam somebody, there's something we're supposed to discuss, but then they start asking, "Oh, how is Uncle so and so? How is Daddy? How is this person?" Yoruba people now, for instance, say, Ekujo Meta, Eku this, Eku that, Bao ni Unko, Mama so and so Unko, this person Unko, that person Unko. And I'm like, what is with this ritual? You keep on talking about family and family and family and family and family. And then after that, you talk about the economy. And I'm like, what is going on with this ritual? So for those of us who are township children, modern Nigerian kids, it can be a bit confusing because it looks as if this small talk they're engaging in it's as if it's pointless. This conversation is going nowhere. You start off asking how are you, how are the children, and then 45 minutes later, people are talking about a common relative that you have in Zamfara or something. And I'm like, from where to where? In my mind, I'm thinking that's when my dad was still alive. I'm thinking, look, Dad, the reason why we're here is because we're supposed to discuss these things with Chief. Can we get this ball rolling so that we can finish and then be on the road? Because as for me, I'm not planning to sleep in the village because sleeping in the village ain't fun at all. It's mosquitoes and no light. And for those of you who know, you know. So in Nigeria, that is small talk. pointless conversations about family and sometimes the economy. So that's one definition of small talk. Now, another definition of small talk that I found online is just an easy conversation that people have when they're not talking about anything serious or they're not talking about anything deep. So, like I said, for those of us Nigerians now who are township children, I even hear that there's like I think is it Boga? I think they call them Boga children or something. Like, cause I have a cousin who schooled in Ghana, and I think over in Ghana they talk about people who are Boga children, like they're raised on hamburgers or something. I don't know. So those of us who are township children or Boga children, when we go to the UK and people are talking about the weather, and then we come back here, people are spending 45 minutes asking about the family and children and how is your wife and how is your goat and how is your chicken. We wonder, okay, what is all this thing about? Now, even though this thing looks like empty talk, it actually is very important. Small talk, eh? Whether in the UK context, talking about the weather, or whether in Nigerian context, talking about the wife, the children, the farm, your chicken, your goat, your neighbor, your uncle's second wife's first child, all those conversations, it actually is a bridge. The small talk that they're doing is a bridge. They're trying to lay one or two steps before they get somewhere. So, me and Popsy were in the villa, we're in front of Chief, and then Popsy is talking about all kinds of things. You know, how was the last harvest? How is this person? How is so and so? Oh, is this person in school yet? Oh, what is this person studying? Round and round and round. Now, young boy, me, Tavershima, I'm sitting down there and I'm thinking, Dad, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's going on? Can we talk this thing quickly? It's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the villa is like 2 hours away from Makudi. So, if we finish this conversation now, sharp, sharp, and we enter the road, we can be back in Makudi, city capital, by 5. Because my pops used to like a night journey. 9 o'clock in the night, we're still on the road. 10 p.m., 11 p.m., we're still on the road. Then after that, my parents go to quarrel. I say, Charles, that's my late father's name. That Charles, you shouldn't be carrying children around like this at night. Anyway, that was fun. So, when your popsy, or when a Nigerian businessman, or when UK business people are sitting down and they're talking about the weather, it rained, it didn't rain, it snowed, it didn't snow, harvest was good, harvest was bad, how is your grandfather's second wife? It's a bridge. They're getting somewhere. That it helps people feel comfortable with each other before you get into the story. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Now, it's hard to understand. We township babies. But actually, in the Nigerian context, when they get together and then this ba unko, kunle unko, this one unko, that one unko, they're getting somewhere. They're building a bridge. They're helping people to feel comfortable with each other before they start talking about the important things. Small talk, especially in this part of the world where we haven't lost the art of small talk, is politeness in Nigeria. So don't be confused. See, I won't lie, till today the thing still confuses me because I remember when Popsy died and we had to go home for the burial. As far as I was concerned, me and my brother were concerned, like, look, we have things to do. You know, it's unfortunate, but the guy don't buy. So let's get moving. But there were some things that needed to be said. I want to talk. My mother would just tap my leg. I said, okay, now it's not time to talk. My brother self go they agitate. If he wants to talk, Mom, she will just tap his leg. There's no need to talk. One of us gets agitated, we look at Mom, see she will shake her head. Okay, now is not the time to talk. There were some things that needed to be said. But then eventually, things reached an emotional crescendo, and Mom just tapped my leg and just did her hand front. Like, okay, it was now time to broach the matter. So it's confusing. Whether it's personal things or whether it's business things, it's confusing. But it's politeness or building a bridge or changing the emotional temperature before you launch into business. In the UK, they use it to break up the silence. Because if you're there, before you get into the agenda, that okay, the agenda for this business meeting is one, two, three, four, you just break the silence now. Like, oh, this is the first time we're saying, oh, Happy New Year. Oh, by the way, what'd you do for the holidays? Did you enjoy the winter? Oh, this winter was dreadful. We had 3 weeks of snow, blah, 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 blah. You know how UK people can talk. It's just breaking the silence before you get into, this is the agenda, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. So, in Nigeria, small talk can be all kinds of things, like the weather. Right now in Abuja is hot as hell. I heard somebody say that it's as if Satan left the door of hell open, and then the fire is entering into Abuja. So those are common small talk topics. The weather, Abuja is too hot, or the rain is too much. Then current events. Did you hear Wike said this? Or Tinubu did this? Did you hear that Tinubu went to go and prostrate in Turkey? You know, and then on and on and on. Current events. Then, of course, work and school. How are things at work? How is your DG? Or your children, how are they at school? Okay. Abdul Rahman is getting into university now. We thank God. That's small talk. And then, of course, compliments. I've noticed that women do that a lot. So, Anne, I like these your shoes. Where do you get them? That one is also small talk. So, all these kind of things, think of it like a social handshake. People are just trying to say, I see you. I'm friendly. We're cool. No animosity. Relax. I'm okay. So, now that we know that small talk is a bridge, even though we don't understand, eh? Even though we don't understand, those of us township children, excuse me. So now that we know that small talk is a bridge, can you guys see that small talk? It sounds a lot like what we were talking about in the last podcast episode when we were talking about rapport building. Can you see that it sounds similar? Maybe the context is different. Like small talk is mostly personal issues. Rapport building is when we're getting ready to talk business. You know, I don't know what the difference is, to be frank. Well, can you see that they sound similar? So, if you were a small boy like me, who was with Popsy, and people went to go and see Chief, and it looked like this talk was pointless. It wasn't pointless. They were using it as a bridge to a serious conversation. So, what I'm going to advise you guys to do is this. Just like you listened to the previous episode to learn about rapport building and how you can use that in a business context, learn small talk. Watch and learn in the traditional context, and you will see that small talk is not pointless. It is a bridge to something. So, this is the key thing that I wanted to emphasize that a lot of us miss. Whether it comes to when it comes to building rapport, or when it comes to small talk, we forget, or how do I put it? We engage in pointless conversations. We're not looking for a bridge. We're not looking for an off-ramp point where we can glide in to serious matters. So, should you avoid small talk? Because some people are going to say avoid small talk. It's pointless. I would say no. Don't avoid small talk. If the small talk truly is pointless, so you're in the UK, you're with someone, and people are discussing the winter. Because I think this is February of 2026. I'm making this recording, and in the previous winter, we're still in winter now. So that's for those of you in the UK. In December, there was correct snow in Aberdeen, in Scotland. Correct snow. It doesn't usually snow like that, but the snow was like I was impressed because there's somebody who I'm currently mentoring, and she's still in Aberdeen. She's a management consultant trainee. So she sent me some video, and I was like, correct snow. Like, I wish I was there. Make snowballs and stuff. Correct snow. So if you're talking to somebody about the snow And truly, 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 like you don't have where you're going with this conversation, then why are you wasting your time? Avoid the conversation about the snow. However, if you're talking to someone, you actually want to discuss a contract or discuss this or this, there's some agenda on the table, but then you people are discussing the snow. It's all right. Continue to discuss the snow. You are now looking for an off ramp from how you transition from the snow to now put your agenda on the table. If you are in the villa, or if you are with a potential investor or whatever, and it looks as if this conversation that people are having, truly there's no point. It's just on a personal, on a whatever level. Okay, perhaps you shouldn't dwell that long. But if you have a point, if you have an agenda, something that you're trying to slide into, then it's okay. Stay here. Listen to the previous podcast episode, and you will see how you can use um, rapport building, small talk, whatever, just to set the emotional temperature. And then from there, you'll be able to slide in and start discussing these serious things that you're supposed to talk about. So don't worry whether what you're doing is small talk or rapport building. Don't worry. Don't worry about what it's called. So long as your conversation isn't pointless. If in your heart of hearts you know that this conversation is pointless, okay, then do your best. Get out. You're wasting your time. But if you get where you are plotting this thing, don't worry whether this is small talk or rapport building. Continue. You'll find a way to land this plane. So avoid pointless conversations in business. Whether it is small talk you're doing or rapport building you're doing, use it as a bridge to answer these questions. Is this person the kind of person that I like to do business with? So when people are asking, Mama Kemi unko, àwọn ìyàwó ńkọ́, this one unko, that one unko, that one unko, of Hausa people, Yaya Yaya Iyale, Yaya this, Yaya that. The whole point of the Yaya this, Yaya that, and Bao need this, and Bao, this one call, that one call. They're trying to figure out, is this a person I like to do business with? That's the whole point. That's the whole point of how are you? How are the children? Oh, your children are doing okay now. Oh, that your first born is now in secondary school. Ah, glory be to God. Which school did she go to? Loyola J Suite. All that talk. You're trying to figure out, is this person I like? Is this the kind of person I like to do business with? Use small talk or use rapport building as a bridge to answer that question. Do I like this person? Can I do business with this person? Another question you should be asking in your mind, and you should be using the small talk or the rapport building to try and figure out, does this person have a problem that my product or my service can solve or my skill set can solve? So when I'm talking to people and we're shouting greatest defect, great, and we're talking Netflix and all whatnot, these are the things. I'm trying to source out this person. Is this person cool? Can we vibe? Can we flow? Eventually, we'll be shifting it towards much more official things. And then I'm trying to figure out, is there a problem here that I can solve with my skill set? So when we start talking general business issues and we're still doing rapport building, I've not hit the nail on the head to say, I'm a sales consultant, I'm a sales coach, I'm a sales trainer. Before we get there, all the general business conversations I'm having, I'm trying to figure out, is there a problem here that I can solve? You should do the same too. So, whether it's small talk or rapport building, these are the kind of issues you're trying to tease out. Since we've been here 30 minutes, let me bring today's episode to a close. And let me ask one final question now. Should we always engage in rapport building or small talk? Because some people now assume that whenever we start, we should start with rapport building or we should start with small talk. So, if you are raised in the Nigeria local context and you're really, really good at the small talk thing, some people assume that every single time you land, you should always say, good morning, sir. Good morning, chief. How's madam? How are the children? How's this? How are things at work? How's whatever? How is. Is that how we should always start? And then for those of us who, township children, we never quite understood or we never quite mastered the art of this traditional form of small talk talking about family and the economy and all whatnot. So instead, we want to do rapport building. We're Western kids. Want to do rapport building. Should we always start with rapport building? Another way of asking that question is: are there times when we can show up to Chief's house and just go bam straight to the point, without how is this, how is this, how is this, how is that? That is what we're going to tackle in the next episode. So, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, please subscribe and hang around for the next episode, because you're going to find stuff that is very, very practical that you can use in your business today. If you haven't started a business yet, you have 3, 4 possible ideas, you're wondering which one should you start, that's not a problem. Reach out to me. The phone number to call, to text, or to send a WhatsApp message to is 080-6466-2140. I'd like to hear from you. Let's talk. Let's figure out which of these ideas should you pursue. Which one can we validate to show that there is demand for this product, for this service, for this your idea, for your app, for whatever it is? Which one can we show that people are willing to pay for, and they're willing to pay for at an amount that will make sense for you to continue in this business? And then finally, we'll try and figure out if we can build a selling system around this. So if you have these problems, reach out to me. The number to call, send a text message or a WhatsApp message to is 080-6466-2140. Please don't send me a message on Telegram. I use Telegram mostly. Okay, well, I only started using it recently, but Telegram for me is still a training thing. So if you send me a message on Telegram, it's not until I have scheduled a training that I'll see your message. But if you want a sharp response, SMS or WhatsApp message. And then, if you're listening to this podcast and you're wondering, this rapport thing, how can I apply it to my business concretely? You've listened to this episode, you listened to the last episode, and you're still having issues. You still don't know how you can use rapport building in your business. Call me, send me a text message, send me a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. So that's it, and that is all for today. I will catch you all some other time.